Hey lads, welcome back to another NRL Fantasy Fanatics video. And today we've got the buy, watch, avoid for you. One of our more keen videos. We're excited to make this one. As always, joined by Will. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Just quickly, guys, we have launched a new private group, whatever you like to call it, and the video that we post to the public will change up a bit, and yeah, just we'll keep an eye out for that. We will post our new schedule and that, but I there'll be more in-depth buy, hold, sell that you can only access from being a paid subscriber. But yeah, let's get into it. So
Yeah,
first
take us away.
the first buy here is Lachlan Hubner, 250k. He has got the number 13 jersey here. When playing at Lock, he's only ever played the one game for 27 points in 44 minutes. Do you think that Hubner can improve that PPM there and can play bigger minutes so he makes money?
Yeah, I do. I think 44 minutes would be very low for him at the Rabbitohs. Starting lock, I reckon he can get 55 to 65 minutes. And with that sort of, in such a key position with those sort of minutes, he can easily average 40 plus from 60 minutes I reckon, at base. So if he's averaging 40 plus for a guy who's 250k, then it's a no-brainer. If you want to loop him, that's fine, but I think he's close to a must-have in your sides.
Yeah, well, I know I'm playing him this week, and I definitely do think even if he averages 30, let's say, he still makes you 55k over the next 3 weeks, which you're definitely taking. And 30s on your bench, it's not the worst thing to start a season off. So, yeah, he's one that I'm definitely keen on and will be in my starting 17. The next guy I'm overly keen on is Alex Seyfarth here. When playing at second row, which is where he's been listed and playing over minutes of 50, he has gotten 53.2 average, which I think is incredible. He is average 50 here, makes 72k of value for you over the first 3 weeks. Do you think Seyfarth's close to a must have and that 10% ownership is a bit low for Seyfarth?
Maybe not quite a must-have just because we don't know what the bench rotation is going to be, but those numbers don't lie, averaging 53 points from 78 minutes with two lower games in there of 41 and 42, the rest high 50s and 170. I think it's just a tackling machine. 41 tackles average there, and he doesn't run it a hell of a lot. He just makes a lot of his points off base stats and a few tackle busts, one or two a game. I think starting second row, mid-edge duel, 475k, it's going to be pretty hard to turn off for me. So that's why I've also got him in my team.
Yeah, I don't see him going much lower than 35 at all, which is what his break even is. So I'd definitely see him at least making money. And yeah, even if he is plays at lock, he does do pretty well while playing there too. So well, not really. Never mind. But yeah, playing a second row, playing 80 minutes, I do think he is a no-brainer. Into my third by the weekend, it's Dylan Lucas, someone that I think is actually a must-have in his centres or close to a must-have there while playing at second row and playing over 70 minutes, which is probably going to get 80 minutes. He has an average of 54.7, so about 5 points of value there. But he really does let out keeper scores. And will Dylan Lucas be one that's extremely close to your side and is a must-have?
Once again, I wouldn't say it's a must-have. Some people are going cheap in their centers, and I've done similar thing. I've gone Garrick and Toia. I just can't fit in Dylan Lucas into my team at the moment. But if you can, I am jealous of you as I really, really want him. Like if look at those scores in there, went on a run around 15 or well 26 onwards, 60, 79, 45, well 30 is not great, and then 60, 46, 77, 51. You could argue he's a little up and down, but look, I think he'll have another strong year with alongside Ponga and Sharp, who's the explosive in the six jersey as shown in trial games. I think he'll have another great year, and his base stats are there, averaging 40 tackles a game and three tackle busts a game. So I am still very keen on him.
Yeah, I think he's a very good ball runner, and I'll have to use him more this year. And I think he's just another year older, another year in that spot, and we all know what he can do. He runs a really good line, very talented player, a lot of good tackles there. And the thing for me is, even if he gets moved to center, he still scores relatively well at center too, doesn't he? So I think for me, Lucas is a no-brainer at all. So yeah, you talk us through this one. I think Tom Gilbert's personally an avoid, but listed at lock there. You'd probably say over 50 minutes, but under 60 minutes. What are your thoughts on our Tommy Gilbert?
I think he's going to get more than 60 minutes, if I'm honest. So I think he'll probably get 65 to 70, maybe 65. But just look at those stats, averaging 50 points from 59 minutes and 53 from 62. You can't argue with that. Like you say it is a void. I can't see how he's in a void here. He's priced at 37, and if he averages 52, or 50, which I can see, there's 13 points of value with a mid-edge duel also named as captain. So they've recognized him as one of their senior players. I think he's almost a must-have in your team. Tom Gilbert with a five next to him is a very nice sight. And as we can see, he's reached prices of near 700K. So I'm very interested in Tom Gilbert, and I think everyone else should be too.
So you don't have any worry considering he is coming off a ACL surgery back to back.
Nah, I'm not worried. I'm not gonna not pick a player based off his injury form. You can't you can't justify that. Like you're not gonna pick someone based off injuries, and you're not gonna not pick someone based off injuries. So I'm not worried about it. I'm expecting him to have a big year named at captain and at lock, which we didn't predict. We thought he'd play second row, but lock is even better for him. So I'm not gonna pass up on this opportunity.
And well, you think anywhere from 60 minutes onwards.
Yeah.
So Robert Toia showed some quite good signs in the trials. At 230K, 17 break even. I think he's just one that you plug in his centers. Maybe not. You go probably start him, and yeah, they'll have a tough draw to start with. But I do think Robert is one that doesn't miss many tackles and playing on. I believe he's playing on our Shimasaki Goeski edge, which I think makes him a really really good option here. So do you think Robert's again close to a must have at 45% ownership?
Yeah, I do. I've got Robert as my starting center alongside Garrick, and I think he is a must-have. I'd probably pick Robert Toya over Mark Noah Quanatawaze as well, just because he's 120K cheaper. And on the back end of that reserve grade season last year, he was a beast and looked really promising in the trial game. So I think he can average 35 to 40, score a few tries, and he's going to make you some great money. So that's why I'm so keen on him at base price as well.
Yeah, I think he's coming to a well drilled Rooster side, which probably will struggle this year, but I do think 230K looks like a very, very good player too and played incredibly well in our trials there. So I think Robert Toya, the nudgy bloke, is one that you
Now,
kind of don't
the
say no
good thing
to.
about Robert Toya is that he can't lose any money. Like he is base price, he
Yeah.
cannot lose money. It is a zero risk investment. Like there's nothing that can go wrong, only upside.
So Jack Goeski, have you considered therapy? Is the thing you open your screen up to here. And yeah, now into my first watch of the weekend. I've got Jack starting at 250K, starting on an edge. Don't think will play 80 minutes considering Piakura is there. So I'm saying anywhere from probably 50, 65 minutes there. And you see in games of 60 minutes, he averages 30, which does give him 11 points of value. But for me, you get rid of that double try game. He scores close to no points there at all. And I think just one that I don't see as an attacking workhorse or a defensive workhorse. And I think, yeah, he definitely, I think he'll get up to 400K, but it's 400K and 30 to 35 points enough for your team. For me, no, I think there's
No.
more cash cows that can go higher than him at same price or a little bit higher. So for me, the first avoid is Jack Goweski. Do you agree with me?
Um, I wouldn't say he's a void. I'd say he's probably more of a watch just to see the minutes. But even like you could argue, even with the minutes he gets, he doesn't even average well. He goes at around 0.45 ppm, which really isn't great. So I I think he honestly could slot into an avoid category just for the first few weeks. With Piakura on the bench, I actually think Piakura will take up a lot of his minutes, and they'll probably split it like 50-30 if I'm honest. And 50 minutes, if he continues that PPM, he'll probably be sitting on around 20 to 25 points, which you just can't have. He'll he just won't make enough cash, and with the amount of cash cows we have this year, I just don't think he's good enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one that you kind of let go through the keeper there. The second avoid I have is Corey Pakes, a Broncos team full of avoids here, clearly. But yeah, when starting at hooker, he has an average of 32.5, I think Corey is a cracking, really good player. But for me, Corey, I think he'll be getting 50-ish minutes, 45 to 50 minutes with Billy named to the bench there. Do you agree that Corey is just an avoid considering those minute threats?
Maybe not in the void, maybe a watch. The Broncos tend to split their hookers pretty evenly, maybe 50-30 or 55-25. And if they do split 50-30, which I think they will, I just don't see it for Corey Pakes. He doesn't have the best PPM of a hooker, 0.57. So if he does get 50 minutes, I can see him getting around 30 to 35 points, which is 13 points of value. But I'd much rather go with Mamazulis, who I think spot is, well, minutes are a little bit more solid. So that's why I just don't agree with Corey Pakes that much.
Yeah, I do think that yeah, Paige is one that to be owned by 12% of people. I think they're kind of searching for those cash cows because I don't really think he's going to be one there. Um, yeah, if Sua Wong was to get that lock spot, he'd probably be in a watch to buy category. But now, if him coming off the edge and historically with his PPM, I'm sorry, coming off the bench, I don't know how many minutes he's really going to get. Do you think that it's one that you avoid until he gets a starting spot, then you watch?
Yeah, you can't get on Stuart Wong obviously now since he's got the bench spot. And with Roosters have some of the better edges in the comp, better forward pack in the comp with Crichton, Radley, and their 13. I forgot who their
Nap Butcher.
13 is. Yeah, Nat Butcher. That is really solid forward pack. So I just don't see Stuart Wong getting a bulk of minutes. And even if an injury does go down to them, I still think he's not really good enough to kick it in the NRL level. Um, yeah, if he does get the starting spot, watch him. But if he doesn't, which he hasn't, then complete avoid.
Yeah, I just don't really see him getting over 26 points either, considering his PPM's not one, and I don't really see him getting 40-ish minutes in that pack for him to go ham. My first watch here is Jamie Humphries at 350k. I think he again is a very interesting player and one I've got to watch just because of we don't know how many weeks Lewis Dodd is out, and well we know
I think he's
he's
out
out
for two.
yeah, but we don't know
I think he's out for two.
if Jamie's going to hold the spot or not over Lewis. So that's why I've got him as a watch. But you see, he has an average of 46 while playing at halfback and did conversion kicking. Do you think Jamie is one that you are looking going towards?
I'm not looking at currently, but
Yeah.
350k is pretty nice for him. My only concern is that Lewis Dodd is out for 2 weeks, and then by the time week three hits, I, I don't know if Jamie Humphries will keep the spot. Maybe he'll go to nine and then force Mamazulis to the bench, or go bench and then play nine for Mamazulis. But I'm not obviously keen on him at the moment. He should score well for the first two games, but the job security is not there, and that's why I'm watching him to see if he will keep that spot.
Yeah, and with him playing at seven with Jaden Sutherland coming on at 14, you could see maybe Jaden Sutherland at seven and then Jamie Humphries taking some of the 9 minutes off Peter Mamazoulis, which I'm also not as keen on him as he looks like an all right defender, but I just don't think he gets as many attacking stats out at nine. So it takes away 20 to 25 minutes of his kick meters there too that he will be affected from.
Sure.
On to another watch here. I
Here we
got
go.
Alex Toole. One that I'm a little bit interested in here. How many minutes do you reckon Alex will play? Because when playing at lock over 50 minutes, he's an average of 58.6 and is an absolutely incredible option there. I think Toole could get anywhere from over 50 minutes, depending on how they use the bird rotation. But they have a hooker on the bench and two not really massive minute players in Hunt and Fainu, and then Jack Bird there. So yeah, if he get probably one that I've watched because if he gets 80 or close to 80 this first game, I'll be going right to him as he is one of the better defensive locks in the game at 46 tackles with zero point 0.5 misses there. And I think he's an incredible player. Do you have any interest in Alex Toole at all?
No, none at all for me. You said 12 might get 80. That's just ridiculous. He's not going to get anywhere near 80. Jack Bird on the interchange will most likely play lock, and Jack Bird is a very good player at lock. So I reckon, well, we'll see a maximum of 50 minutes, I'd say, maximum. And then they'd probably switch the rotation between Sion Fainu and Jack Bird and in the second row and lock. So I can't see Alex Twal playing that many minutes. He's never really been a big minute player. So I just don't have any interest in Twal at the moment with Bird on the bench.
He's been a massive minute player his whole career, mate. 64.8 there. But what do you think of Bird on the bench? Do you think that's bad for maybe a safe up where Bird could have 20 minutes on the edge or a Samuel Fainu?
Um, well, I don't really have any interest in Samuel Alfano anyway. Alex Seyfarth, all he needs, like he's shown before, all he needs is 60 plus minutes and he should average high 40s, which is enough to make a slow burn of cash. I think just mentioning as well, you say that Twal is a big minute player. That's about 20 games in the space of 4 years when he's got over 50 minutes. So I don't think he's a big minute player at all.
That's why playing at lock. You've got all these games here too.
Yeah, he normally starts off the interchange. I don't think Twelve's a viable option, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I got a lot of interest in Alex Tour, but yeah, one to watch for the first couple of weeks, I believe. But Kobe at 414k, break even at 31. I also got a little bit of interest in this guy while playing over 40 minutes. He has an average of 35.9, and while starting at lock with those over 40 minutes, he has an average of 36.3, which makes him about 5 points of value. But do you think he can get more than 40 minutes there?
I hope he gets more than 40 minutes. It makes sense. But look, like we put him in a watch category for a reason. I don't think he's one you can immediately run just because the I don't know if the security's there with the bench, a bench of Corey Jensen, Willison, Piakura. Do you think? I don't think Willison can play lock. Piakura will probably likely swap on for
Yeah.
Jack
So
Kaczewski, and
mm,
then Jensen
my
will probably play prop.
my
So
prediction
maybe
would be maybe not Kobe 80, but Carrigan. Does he start a prop and then Kobe comes on for Carrigan? Like sorry, Kobe comes off and
Jensen.
Carrigan goes to 13 because I did hear a report where they said Kobe will start the first 20 minutes and finish the last 20 minutes of the game as he is their best defensive middle they feel, and then the rest will just be Jensen and Wilson. So do you think that that'll happen for Kobe, or do you think he'll be able to play 60 minutes there with that bench and no one really to take his lock minutes?
Well, there's a lot to digest there. Um, I think I'm very keen to actually watch this game and see what happens. Do you reckon Corey Jensen comes on for Carrigan and then Carrigan has a break and plays lock? Do you reckon that'd happen?
Well, I reckon Corey will play 55 minutes still. I think he was one of their better props last year. So I think maybe Kobe 25, and then maybe Kobe first 35, and then Carrigan has a 10-minute stint and then comes on for Kobe. And then maybe Kobe comes back on for the last 15 to 10. So maybe only 45 to 50 minutes there.
It's pretty hard to predict, which is why I'm gonna watch him for
Yeah.
against the Roosters, see what happens in that rotation, and then if he's getting the minutes I like and the rotation I like, then I might look to pick him up.
So Nat Fu White, starting at that prop position. These two games are really the only reason I'm interested in Naufahu Whyte for 31 break even with an average of 52 while playing over 40 minutes off the interchange there. Never played over 40 minutes at prop. I do think that with Terrell May leaving and hearing rumours that they believe White is the future of the forward pack for them and is a much improved player, that Nafu White could definitely fill that bigger minute void left by Hardgraves and Terrell May there. And Spencer Leonard not really being a massive minute player too. I do think that White could go 50 plus minutes for most of the season. Do you agree? And do you have any interest in White at all either?
I don't have an incredible lot of interest in White, just due to the fact that Spencer Leniu should be back soon and will likely, I reckon, take 40 minutes. So they'll probably split it 40-40, maybe even less. I'll give Leniu a bit more because I think Leniu is a better player than White is. But as you see there, the PPM of 1.07, all White needs is 40 minutes to get 40 to 45 points, which is 14 points of value with a mid-edge duel as well. If you want, if you have him in your team to start with this year, I actually don't mind that. he might not even be a watch. He could be floating towards the buy category. Because all he needs, like I said before, 40 minutes, should get 45 points and make you
And
some money. So
that 51,
I could pick him up.
that
What's that?
51 game came with a sin bin too.
Wow, that's scary. Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
he looks like Terrell May type of breed with that offloading game too, and just tackling a lot and running a lot of meters. And we all know how Terrell went last year.
Yeah. Look, he could be a good little cheapy-ish option there, mid-edge duel. That's always helpful. One you could put on your interchange and see how he goes, or wait a week, see the minutes he gets, and then pick him up in week two. So,
Yeah. I got a lot of interest in him.
yeah.
Toia is one I'm also very interested in getting that prop spot, and I'm predicting him for anywhere over 40 minutes here. You see a average of 50 there and 55 minutes, which if he can get that 55 minutes and average 50, he makes you 20 points of value there. But I mean, you just see so many good scores at prop here there. I don't see him playing anywhere over 60 minutes, so let's filter by that. He still averages 45.7 and 49 minutes, which is incredible there. Do you have any interest in Tahu, or do you think it's wait to see how many minutes he gets and see how well he plays, because he hasn't played in the NRL since 2022?
I think since 2022. I
Yeah,
think this guy's probably one of the biggest watches of the week, I'd say. Because, like you said, hasn't played NRL for 3 years. They're likely going to ease him back in. I'd predict 40 to 45 minutes for him. And maybe he gets more. That's the beauty of watching him. If he gets more, then you can pick him up next week, and his break even will likely be down since he averages about a point a minute. So that's why I reckon I'm going to watch him just to see how Manly go about it, see how many minutes they get with him back in the NRL. Hopefully it's around 50, and then I'll probably pick him up next week as my cheap mid.
yeah, I think it could be a really interesting option. I do think it goes into the watch category, as I would go for a White over him to start with, a 15K more, but definitely one that I think all these players are really around the same price. Kobe, Nafu, um, Tayaho, and the guy we're going to talk about next. But yeah, I think that if he gets good minutes there, he'll go well. But looking at their bench, they don't really have many big minute players. It's Waddell, Simpkin, um, Waddell,
Bullimore and
Simpkin,
Sipley.
yeah, Bullimore, Sipley.
Bullimore and Sipley.
So they don't really play. Bullimore and Sipley are probably the two props, and they don't really play 35 plus minutes. So he definitely could. Both him and Paseka could definitely get 50 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But one that I've been big on pretty much all preseason here, starting at that prop role. And for me, I think he'll get anywhere over 40 minutes. And you see an average of 42.3 and 46 minutes. That is 10 points of value there. And yeah, I think for me, Davey Moale is an improved player. He is only 21 years of age, which I think he's going to get better and better. And he is a very talented young rookie there. Do you have any interest in Davey at all when you look at that PPM and those minutes? If he can get anywhere plus 50 minutes there, he could average 45 to 50.
Um, I actually have more interest in White and what's the other guy's name we just mentioned? I forgot his name. Uh,
I,
well, yeah, I'm gonna butcher his last name, but I prefer those two over Davi Moale, if I'm honest. Their PPM's a lot better, around 1.05, both of them, and I think the minutes might be there more for both of them. But obviously, we've got these three in the watch categories for good reason. Watch them this week, see which one you like the most. Most likely, it'll probably be White, maybe even Moale. But next week, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick White over
what
Moale if I had to do it.
what is the bench makeup for the Rabbitohs this week? Because I think they got Bud Sutherland there, and then I don't really think they have many big minute players at all off that bench. Which for me, like you got Talis Duncan, who's going to probably take the lock minutes, and maybe a couple of edge minutes. Who are the other two players on their bench?
They got Sullivan, Havili, Duncan, and Totola, who Totola will likely take a lot of minutes from Moale.
And who's the other starting prop? It's but Sean Kepi is not a big minute player, which I was predicting that
Yeah,
Kepi will play 30, then Totola will come on and play 50. And then Havili, is he really, how many minutes is he going to play at prop?
not many really.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I
would
think that,
Havili or Jaden Sullivan most likely be Mama Zulis's competition?
yeah, so I think that Moali, like he could have the players around him where he gets 50 to 55 minutes there looking at that bench makeup. Because I think that Mawali is highly touted and a better player than Sean Kepi, which is why Mawali is going to get the bigger minutes of 50 to 55. So I do think it is a watch to see if he does get those
Yeah,
55 to 50 to
for sure.
55 minutes. But I would not be surprised at all if he was to get those minutes there.
I also feel like for the mid-tier props, obviously props, you don't know how many minutes they're gonna get as they're such big bodies. All the mid-tier props, you just gotta watch for a week. Some of them will get more minutes than others, and that's the beauty of watching them. You just pick up the ones that are getting more minutes.
Yeah, but you see him see if the interchange here does quite well there too, Davey, in those bigger minutes. But yeah, probably one definitely you watch there. And yeah, so Connor Watson, I mean, the bench wasn't amazing as I think he has a hooker and someone that has played hooker in the trials there. Um, but when playing there last year, he had an average of 58.8, and most of them came in 80-minute games where do you see that their bench is to a hooker and three forwards there? So I think Watson does lose minutes there because one of them's going to come on a hooker and there won't be any lock minutes for him to pick up. So do you think Watson goes 60 and then Butcher, White, and Lindsay all get stinted from Wong and the two rookies there? Or what do you think happens there?
I don't really know because I'm not, well, obviously, I don't think Docker Clay is good enough to take a bulk of Watson's minutes. And Feketi did play hooker in the trial game, which is another concern. But Blake Deep and Wong are both edges and locks. Maybe it's because there's a lot of rotation that could be going on here. Like maybe Nat Butcher will come off and then come on for Radley and they do a little swap there. But I'm not really sure what's going to happen. That's why I'm probably going to watch Connor Watson. Hopefully he's not too affected by Docker Clay or Feketi. But for me, the team was just brought in a new risk for Watson. And a risk I'm probably not going to take. I might just downgrade him to maybe a Gilbert and then upgrade somewhere else. So I might watch Watson for a week and maybe he'll lose cash and I pick him up in a few more.
Yeah, I think the
Hmm.
risk outweighs the positives for him now. Like I think the risk of 55 minutes compared to 80 minutes, and with him at hooker, I'm not as keen as I was on him at lock either. So yeah, I think it's one that I definitely watch. And the last one I am quite big on. I think he is going to goal kick and is quite underpriced. He's playing on the wing where he has played one game, and the Rabbitohs should improve this year where they had a stinker of a 2024. But for me, you look at him in the centers of 2023, he had an average of 37.1, which is where he makes 13 points of value, and an average of 38.1. So he has 14 points of value there. But in 2024, he had a terribly down year for me. I do think he will win that goal kicking spot, which for me, I think he does probably pick up 6 points there until the trail comes back. Do you have any idea on Isaiah as a good coverage at center wing fullback? Cheaper than Mark Nowitzki with a bit more pedigree on him, knowing what he can do on a improved team for the South Sydney Rabbitohs because currently, as of right now, he is sitting in my wing fullback loop option.
Well, I wouldn't say the Rabbitohs team's that improved at all anymore with the loss of Murray and Latrell. But look, I have no interest in Tass if I'm honest. You look there, 2024, high score of 33, and then if you want to go back to 2022, he's just incredibly up and down. That's my only problem with him. That's how most centers are. A 51 in the in round eight, and then a 15 in round nine, and then a good run of 40s, and then a 26, then a 20, then a 30. I just think he's a little too up and down, and I don't think he'll even find that form he had in 2022. So that's why I think I'm not going to go near him
But
if I'm honest.
is he on the Alex Johnson wing where they score most of their tries?
Have a look.
Because Johnson always found a way to get to 450, 500K there, and he was a bit up and down, Johnson. But for me, at 320K for Tass, if he's playing on that Johnston wing, is a big one. I do think he will be affected for the first 4 weeks without Latrell, but as soon as Latrell comes back, he will lose the goal kicking. But I reckon I'll get a bit more meters there. And Wayne is back
Yeah,
too, which in 2022, with Wayne, he had probably his best career season of an average of 38 again.
I just don't think he'll find that average of 38 if I'm honest, at wing especially. Like wingers are even more up and down than centers. They rely so heavily on tries. That's why I'm so off him. Does he actually have any stats at wing?
The one
Wow.
game.
Wowee. Holy. Yeah, I just can't see that for me, so I'm gonna let him go.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a risky one, but it's a risk that could pay off depending on how the Rabbitohs play. Like if they play well, he gets points from conversion kicks, and he could score a couple tries on that wing. But if they play bad, he could be a stinker and
Yeah.
go down as basement price there. So I do think it comes with a
If
little
it's
bit of
bad, it's
with a lot of risk there, to be honest.
if it's bad, it's gonna be real bad for Tass, and I'm predicting the Bunnies with massive injuries to Latrell and Murray to have a pretty shocking start to the season.
But I think
I actually can see him.
if it's good, it's going to
I
be good for Tass.
Yeah, but even his good scores, he doesn't really get over 50, and his bad scores, like we see right here, is a 9. Like you can't. It's few and far between in good scores for him. And I honestly see the Rabbits not winning a single game in their like first 5. So I'm not keen on him at all.
Yeah, but that pretty much wraps it up. Yes. Cheers, boys. Do you have anything else to say, Charlie?
Um, just what we mentioned before, starting a new collab with NRL Nostradamus. We're very excited. If you have any, he's going to be posting on his channel to promote it. And if you have any questions, just shoot us a DM. $50 for the season to get all access to our premium stuff alongside with his. And they are very good at Nostradamus, consistent top 1K finishes. So if you have $50 to throw around, it's a very good idea.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably one that you must join if you want to make inroads here, as I think we're the cheapest one to join out of all of them too. But
Yeah.
yeah, cheers, guys. Good luck to your teams this week.
Yeah, see you in the next one.